Good news for Seattle and that running game. Chris Carson, who got gator rolled, his knee is supposed to be okay.
Yeah, and Pete Carroll just came out and said he was pissed off about the gator roll, and I think everybody was.
Yeah.
That was one of those things that just Bush League there. Now, Cowboys D tackle Trysten Hill was the one doing the gator roll that we all learned about from Steve Irwin as a child. He will likely be fined but not suspended for rolling with Carson's leg. Chris Carson has a sprained knee, they said. That'll be week to week, I'd assume. It'll get x-rays, and they'll try to treat it and all that shit. But that should not happen on an NFL field. Now, I've made tackles, okay? I've made tackles.
Plethora.
I've gotten hit before. I have a completion, I have a rush, I have a kick, I have a punt. I have a lot of parts of tackling, but I am parts of football. I'm not saying I am the authority on how NFL players should act, okay? That would be the least self-aware thing I potentially have ever said into a microphone, okay? You do whatever you got to do. But it does feel as if there's always been this understanding of, hey, we're not trying to take people out. And it felt like that was taking people out. Now, back in the day, those hits over the middle, there used to be monster collisions where guys would literally try to kill each other, but that was just a part of the game. Like, hey, that's the way the game goes. You could get got in there. Eventually, you're going to get got. You just got to get yours more than you get got, though, in those big type of hits. But whenever you're talking about shady ankle rolls like you're Kurt Angle trying to get that thing, that is just something I think nobody appreciates. So I would assume that guy is probably going to get some. Like, I would assume he's probably going to get some from people, not just from Seahawks players. I would assume the rest of the NFL is going to be like, hey, this guy's a dirtbag, this guy's a scumbag. But that guy might not care, to be honest with you. If he's doing that, do you think he gives a single damn? Probably not. I mean, that guy's trying to rip his leg off like a chicken bone. That guy is trying to rip his leg off at the knee, and that's wild. You normally wouldn't think that would happen, especially in the world that we're in right now where it's going to take all of us as the big mantra. I just don't know how that human fits in, but that's tough. That is not a good look.
If we know anything about scumbags, they love to be scumbags. So this guy is a Hall of Fame scumbag. He's going to be a scumbag.
That really did feel like a scumbag move.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then he had the blatant head-to-head hit on Russell Wilson right after that. Kind of just
cost him, by the way.
Yeah, it did.
Cost him. So that's the type of thing Mike McCarthy might be like, okay, not only are you disrespecting the game, okay, now you're costing us a game, too. Go ahead and get out of here.
What are you doing down there around the ankles? Don't do it anymore.
Hey, why don't you go down to Dwayne Johnson's league? That guy yesterday, the Dallas Cowboys D tackle with the Gator death roll, where he had that guy's ankle and he rolled. He knew that he was doing that, right, AJ? I mean, you played middle linebacker in college, national champion, in the NFL, Super Bowl champ. Whenever you're tackling somebody, you very much understand when you're trying to hurt somebody and when you're not trying to hurt somebody. And I think this is very disrespectful to the fraternity of brothers who play in the NFL, to be completely candid and serious for a second.
It absolutely is. And there's like a, and I don't want to call it unwritten rules or anything, but there's a code that NFL players kind of live by. And as violent and crazy as it seems at sometimes, like even the dirtiest player that's out there, like even the guys that seem like the most vicious people alive, like they're not trying to do things like this to, like, on purpose, intentionally harm somebody by gator roll, like an extra 2 or 3 rolls. That's what it was. Like, no, a gator roll, you have to. If you're making a tackle in the open space, or say you have an angle tackle and the guy can run, you got to dive, you got to slide down his legs and gator roll. That's how they teach it. But that's when you're moving. Like when the guy is down and you still roll a couple extra times, yeah, that's usually when a big brawl will break out.
You look back, and there's some guys that step on players. You know, we talked to Aaron about that back in 2000, whatever 12 it was, or 2008, whatever year it was. And there was like that type of stuff. And there's big shots where guys lower the crown of their helmet and hit. And I think that is just charged to the game. Like, I honestly believe that's like, hey, that's charged to the game. Like, sometimes you're going to get got. There's going to be a blindside shot. You're going to get got. Like, that is a part of the game. Whenever you're trying to rip somebody's leg off, I think there is a line there. And to be honest, I would assume that he's going to get some at some point, right? I mean, this is going to be the type of, like, he's going to get fined, obviously. I don't know if Mike McCarthy's a guy that's just like, yeah, I love having that guy on my roster. I don't know if that's how he is either. I don't know if anybody wants to be associated with that guy right now.
No, I don't think teammates or coaches, they don't want their brand being associated with something like that. Now, this is going to, it's all going to die down. I think the guy will be fine, but I think it is definitely something McCarthy would look at like, what are you doing? What's going on here? Like, I'm sure, like, hey, there's a difference between playing physical and dominating people, like, at the line of scrimmage, and doing this kind of stuff. Like, this is not being physical. This is just stupid.